Hi everybody, welcome. It's Scarlet Pete's Self-Sufficiency. Today we're at the knitting machine again, a Knitmaster 700 who has been starring in quite a few videos. So check out my playlist on machine knitting and you'll see the latest batch. Today we have sponge bars to talk about. Needles are not selecting properly when you're doing punch cards and the pattern's going wrong. It can be a sponge bar. If your carriage jams and doesn't knit properly, it can be a sponge bar. What on earth is a sponge bar? Well, here is a brand new sponge bar. Here is a broken, old, perished, 30-year-old sponge bar. The needle goes back and forth in here. And when it's working, you do not want it to suddenly tip out and come out or smash into the carriage. That is where the sponge bar that goes in this hole here, can you see there's an old sponge bar in here? That's pushed in and the sponge bar sits on top of these needles, like this. So that means I cannot lift out that needle, but this sponge bar gives it a bit of bounce, like this. It should be like that in the machine. Can you see? There is some sponginess and resistance and it pushes down the needle. This one would allow the needle to bounce up and down inside the machine, which is what causes all the trouble. Sponge bar lives in here at the end and we need to get it out. I like to use a screwdriver. Now here you can't flick it out, but at this end and push it out. So I'm going to push it from the other side, so hopefully you can see it come out. Just going to push this along a bit more. There we go. This is a good sponge bar to show you because there it's working and there it's semi-used and flat. Hopefully you can see all the difference in the layers there. This one will still function. This one is top class perfect, and this one would cause all the troubles we mentioned before, and even possibly damage to your machine if that ribbon got into it. So all we do to replace the new sponge bar, I'm going to move the machine out of the way. You see this? Take off the sponge. Scrape off all the nasty gunky stuff. We scraped off this horrible, I hate this job, mess. We're going to pull out from under the plastic stoppers the ends. Now you have two options. You can take these plastic ends off and reclamp them back on, or you can put the sponge on and tape it around, whichever you feel competent in doing.
You want to try cleaning old sweaty saddles if you think that's disgusting. Cleaning bird poo, horse poo off leather. Hours and hours in mucky soap.
Oh dear, dear, dear. That's Elizabeth Pete from Bliss Horsemanship channel. Yes, is that how we say it? She's my camera.
That's how you say it, yeah.
Oh yeah, she's my camera lady, and she's always got something clever to say about knitting machines. So yeah, she's in the background watching the professional here with the professional channel who's got more subscribers than she has. How many subscribers have you got, dear? 14?
I think 15 would be generous.
Oh, 15 could be generous. And how many has Mommy got?
3,000 something.
3,000 nearly. Come on, people, help me make it even more. Do go over and check out her channel if you're into horses and give her a little bit of support because she's all right, really, aren't you, love? A solvent here. I'm going to dip the old brush in it and give it a good clean along here. Clean up the glue. Remove as much as I can of the gunk and yuck from this sponge bar's skeleton. What are you doing now, dear? Going out to the horses?
I'm getting some food.
See, she just always has to rub it in. There's me fasting away. I only eat after...
I think I'll make a hot chocolate, actually.
There's me. I'm fasting. I have lost nearly 3 stone in weight. I've lost all this weight and she's going to go eat now. Horrible girl. Right, this is taking a bit of getting off. How are you, Bella? She says that stinks.
Yeah.
Right, it's clean.
Disgusting.
That...
Some people would pay for my commentary.
Not me. But I have a few options of sponge. This one here is bought from a DIY centre. It comes like this, draft excluders. This one seems quite okay. This one is actually sponge like the originals. Stick it on. Sometimes I found with some of these sponges, you need to put 2 layers. This was my only option. And I would stick 2 layers down, like that. And I'd get quite a good sponge effect there. I think this came from Spartan. He's a very good guy. And let's see if this is going to fit. Yes, he's generous with his measurements. It fits. It has a ribbon attached to it, as you can see. That will be stuck down with a good glue, a super glue of types, and that will go all the way along. You need to open up a little bit so you can put this underneath. So put a thin screwdriver underneath and it should just flick off. So just push it underneath, it's just easing up. Careful not to break it. It's about to come off like that. The other one dramatically flew across the other side of the room. Cut off this little piece here because that's going to go underneath that bit at the beginning. So either cut it or just pull it. So we still got that piece to go underneath that orange clip. Bit of the old super glue going along here. Put the end here, the ribbon end is going to go at the very end there. And we're going to push the sponge all the way along. Just easing this along into place. At the end here, I can see the point I need to rip off that bit, shape the sponge at the end. I've got to wait for that to glue. Flip this into place. We've got it glued, and now we're going to snap that into place. As you can see, we've now got the ends in. The new sponge bar fitted with the ribbony bits on top. Time to get it into the machine. Put away the not so great sponge bar stuff. Put away the insulation here that we got. That's good for another one in the future, but I don't like this white one. And put the tools away. And we'll pick up the machine and put that back up here in place. Bit of super glue, always good stuff. And I didn't stick my fingers together today. And look at the difference between that and that manky, horrible sponge bar material. This will wipe down, and we'll get the machine up here next. Did you hear me speaking earlier of when you could tell you need a sponge bar doing is when the needles stand up? And at the moment you can see those machine needles are sticking up quite a bit. I can get my finger underneath there, and that's because they've got no sponge bar in it at the moment, but it's similar when you need a new sponge bar. Can you see the gully where it's come from in there? The sponge bar is going to go in there like that. But also we need to make sure those needles are held down so the sponge bar goes on the top, not underneath. These pit needles need to be pushed down so they won't go any further down, and the sponge bar pushed in on top of them. There we go, they're now on top. And if you look down in here, you should be able to see the gold of the sponge bar. And as I feed it along, I'm going to keep using this tool. Can you see the difference? Those are down, these are up. To push down the needles so the sponge bar remains going on top of them. Also, as you're pushing the sponge bar in, do not cross it and end up aiming at the back of the bed. Keep aiming at the front, so pushing it in the whole time in that direction. There we go, all the way in. It's a bit sticking out. I'm just going to push that in now with it in. Pull some needles out. It's now functioning. That, boys and girls, is how we put a new SpongeBob in the Knitmaster. I hope that helps you. So thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, give me a comment so I know you're there, and you know I'm going to answer you, because I always do. Lots of love. Bye-bye. Lily, say goodbye.